to work in a particular fashion. The players have to buy into that or they won't last. I think they'll be in and around the playoffs, certainly with the players that they have at the disposal. Clinton lives not too far, so we've seen a little bit of them. They'll get there, but it hasn't happened as of yet. For what reason, I'm not quite sure.
Is there a difficulty there, playing with that expectation? If you're fighting for relegation, that's a different... If you're then seen as favourites, that's a whole different level of performance, surely.
Yeah, it definitely is, but the players have to... You have to adapt to that. Steve Evans has a lot of money. Chairman backed him there. He's brought in, like, what, 13, 14 players. It does take time to adapt and gel, and as I said, by Christmas or January, that's when you start looking at the table. They're there. Come the end of the season, I do think they'll be up there in the playoffs.
And they're playing Coventry this weekend, aren't they? And they've got a player in Danny Rose who, again, certainly knows where the goal is, and he's kind of coveted, if you like, is he, by Coventry?
Yeah.
And who he wants. There's a possibility that perhaps January they might come sniffing, but for him.
Undefeated this year and a goal away from competing in the World Cup playoffs, Scotland regroup in Aberdeen. Malky Mackay takes temporary charge of the national squad this evening, but it's emerged this afternoon he won't be considered for the job full-time. The players have to put that distraction to one side and continue their recent improvements. Opponents tonight, the Netherlands, have had an almighty fall from grace in the last 3 years. They finished third in the World Cup in 2014, but since then failed to make Euro 2016 and have failed to qualify for Russia. Former Rangers boss Dick Advocat leads as his international career is about to end. A change in manager for tonight's game, a change in venue as well. We're at Pataudry for Scotland against the Netherlands. Yeah, good evening. Two sides with a point to prove tonight. Perhaps both countries missing out on a place at the World Cup finals next summer, both looking to the future. Alongside me in Scotland's north-east, there's a man who knows what it's like to play his football here and to play for Scotland. It's the former midfielder, Barry Robson. We'll get the thoughts of Barry in just a second, but first to the teams for tonight's clash here in the north-east. The Scotland side is as follows. It shows 5 survivors from the side that started the last qualifier away to Slovenia. There are 3 debutants in the lineup. Ryan Jack, who starts at right back, Callum McGregor and Ryan Christie. Kieran Tierney will play at centre-back. He also captains the side at just 20 years of age. For the Netherlands, well, 7 of this side started their final qualifier against Sweden. Amongst those coming in are Memphis Depay, now of Lyon, once at Manchester United, and Quincy Promes of Spartak Moscow. He scored a hat-trick for the Netherlands under-21s against Scotland back in 2014. He won't be considered for the job full-time. Today's game has changed somewhat over the last few hours. That's after Stuart Regan, the SFA chief exec, came out in an interview and said that Malky Mackay takes the team tonight is not a serious contender for the job full-time. The timing of the announcement surprised people here. It's also had an impact on the betting odds for the next Scotland manager. This is how things stood before the news emerged this afternoon. Malky Mackay was 10-11, Michael O'Neill behind him at 3-1. Since that news broke, this is how things stand. Malky still in the wrecking, but down to 10-1. Alan McLeish is now the favourite at 3-1. Yeah, very interesting indeed. Okay, what has Malky Mackay made of all that? Then let's find out. He's speaking with Luke Shanley.
Malky, so much talk about your position ahead of this game. Can you clear it up for us?
No change at all. Look, we've trained hard, we've worked hard this week, and I've got a group of players there. I've got a job, I'm the performance director, and I was asked to take the team. I am taking the team, but the team need a leader, and the team needs someone to look at, a focal point to look at, knowing that this is talked about to them was the chance that there's 4 possibly 4 friendlies coming up before we go into the Euros, and they need to stake their claim for that, and everything's about their future and about a new group of players coming through to take us through to 2020. We've done that tonight. There's a lot of youth in the team, but a lot of players that are playing at a top level for their clubs, a lot of Scottish players playing as well. Everyone here is
Game has changed somewhat over the last few hours. That's after Stuart Regan, the SFA chief exec, came out in an interview and said that Malky Mackay takes the team tonight, is not a serious contender for the job full time. The timing of the announcement surprised.
Stuart Regan's comments helpful today on the day of the game, seemingly ruling you out. Did that help? And has that actually cleared anything up?
Now the favourite at 3-1. Yeah, very interesting indeed. Okay, what has Malky Mackay made of all that? Then let's find out. He's speaking with Luke Shanley.
Malky, so much talk about your position ahead of this game. Can you clear it up for us?
no change at all. Look, we've trained hard, we've worked hard this week, and I've got a group of players there. I've got a job, I'm the performance director, and I was asked to take the team. I am taking the team, but the team need a leader, and the team needs someone to look at, a focal point to look at, knowing that this has been taken seriously. And what I talked about to them was the chance that there's 4 games coming up. There's possibly 4 friendlies coming up before we go into the Euros, and they need to stake their claim for that, and everything's about their future and about a new group of players coming through to take us through to 2020. We've done that tonight. There's a lot of youth in the team, but a lot of players that are playing at a top level for their clubs, a lot of Scottish players playing as well. Everyone here is here because they deserve to be here. That includes the staff.
Who puts innovation at the heart of the home?
Heel veel Schotse stadions trouwens. En natuurlijk heel veel oog voor de historie. Ook voor de historie van Aberdeen FC. De grootste prijs die de club won in de geschiedenis is de Europa Cup 2. 83. Toen versloeg Aberdeen FC Real Madrid. Nou, veel historie, veel oud-spelers uit Schotland.
Who has an inbuilt camera?
Young players coming in making a debut for a country, but yet we're here discussing this because someone's going to say something today that shouldn't have happened.
Okay, but certainly been an interesting build-up to tonight's game. Supporters here, both countries looking for a boost, of course. Both these times looking for something to build them up for the next qualifying. Find out next.
If, like me, you love the sound of your own voice, then you'll love the all-new Amazon.
Supporters are primed, ready for the game between Scotland and the Netherlands. Barry Robson still alongside me. Barry, in terms of the players tonight, there are some new faces involved. Who are you looking forward to seeing? Who do you think the supporters are looking forward to seeing this evening?
Well, I think Ryan Christie's extremely entertaining, a lovely footballer, works so hard, good athlete as well. Callum McGregor been outstanding for Celtic, and I think he really deserves this as well tonight. So yeah, they're the two that I'm really looking forward to watching, but I'm looking forward to watching Scotland and having that pride, that energy and enthusiasm.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk in the build-up to the game about the Aberdeen players included. Were they here just to sell tickets? You know them well. Do they merit their place in this group?
100%. I mean, these guys have been doing it for 3 years. They're in finals, semi-finals. Every time they're finishing second in the league. They're athletic, they're quick. You don't get to play in Derek McInnes's team unless you are these things. They're disciplined, and I think they've deserved it. They've done it over a period of 3 years, and I'm very, very happy for them, and I'm sure they'll do well tonight.
Kieran Tierney is the captain tonight at just 20 years old. What do you make of that? What do you make of him as a player? He seems to be unfazed by anything.
I like Kieran Tierney. He's got that old-fashionedness about him, if you like that. You know, he trains with the short sleeves and stuff on, but you can see for Celtic he's grown in stature. Physically he's getting better. He's been outstanding in the Champions League. So for me, yeah, I think it's the right choice. I think it's somebody who can go on and play it and go and be a future Scotland who's got 60 caps, 70 caps, definitely.
Thanks, Barry. A big night for Kieran Tierney, a big night for Scotland. The teams are in the tunnel, so let's hand you to your commentary team of Davy Provan and Ian Crocker.
Thank you, Mark. Scotland start to pick up the pieces after yet another qualifying failure. Another nearly but not quite story. It really is the hope that kills you. Gordon Strachan's 4.5-year reign is over. Malky Mackay is in caretaker charge, while the SFA make up their minds as to who is next. Scotland have now failed to make the last 10 major tournaments, while Holland have missed the last 2 themselves. How the mighty Dutch have fallen. They didn't make it. Was way back in 1970. It is Scotland's 15th international at Pittodrie. Crowd of around 17,000 here for this one, and they have a very decent recent record here, winning their last 3 and 5 of their last 6. These 2 last met in qualifying for the 2010 World Cup. And the Dutch, of course, went on to reach the final. It's a big night for the debutants and other young... Scotland haven't actually lost at home since Germany beat them in the Euro qualifiers. Before the action, of course, the 2 teams stand for the anthems at Pittodrie.
Please remain standing.
In Aberdeen dus een graadje of 5-6. Maar een prima grasbad om te bespelen. Eerst maar eens kijken naar de opstelling van Schotland. Dat wat bij Nederland ook zo is. Want
let's have a look at tonight's teams. And Malky Mackay gives debuts to Ryan Jack, Ryan Christie and Callum McGregor. And Kenny McLean wins just his 2nd cap. Jack's at right back, where he often plays. Kieran Tierney covers at centre-half and becomes Scotland's 4th youngest captain. Matt Phillips fills the number 9 role in Lee Griffith's absence. Scott Brown and Stuart Armstrong are here, but both are injured. Former Celtic man Virgil van Dijk is one of 5 Premier League performers in Dick Advocat's team, along with Timothy Fosu-Mensah, Nathan Aki, Gino Wijnaldum and Daley Blind. Former Premier League players Memphis Depay and Ryan Babel also start. Babel was recalled last month after 6 6 years in the international wilderness. Arjen Robben quit playing for his country after failing to qualify for the World Cup. A huge loss. Familiar face back in Scotland. Virgil van Dijk has scored a late winner here and been sent off here. What will tonight have in store for him? And Kieran Tierney's next trick is being Scotland's captain. Their fourth youngest, Darren Fletcher, was slightly younger. But what a night for Kieran Tierney, David.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is a boy that everyone can depend on. I don't think there are any doubts about him anymore, and he's proved himself arguably at a higher level in international football. I'm talking about the Champions League, where the standard, I think, is even better. No doubts about this young man at all.
So Marky Mackay is in caretaker charge. It looks like it might be his only game, although the SFA won't be rushing in their quest for a new head coach. Dick Advocat's third spell as head coach of Holland is coming to an end with a friendly in Romania on Monday. Two nations with a great footballing history, but stuck in a bit of a rut right now. What will they serve up tonight, and what have you made of Marky Mackay's team, David?
Well, I don't think anyone would have second-guessed this side, that's for sure. A team that has Ryan Jack at right back, Kieran Tierney left centre-back, and Matt Phillips through the middle. But it might be a night where the shape and the team performance is less important than the individual performances. Certainly the boys who've come in tonight who are getting their chance have got a chance to make a statement to whoever is going to be the next Scotland manager.
Gordon Strachan won 7 of his friendlies, all by a 1-0 scoreline. Marky Mackay might well accept something similar against the Dutch tonight. Ryan Jack almost giving Craig Gordon an issue. Jack was a regular at right back in Billy Stark's under-21 team and did play there a few times for Aberdeen as well. His first return to Pittodrie since leaving for Rangers. Stroutman. Nathan Aki of Bournemouth. Daley Blint back to Karim Rekik. Here is Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk has put the ball out here. Not happy with the ball, perhaps. New ball required. Rekik. Fosu Mensah, who was given a late call-up after quite a few players withdrew from the initial squad named by Dick Advocat.
Yeah, he's having a good season. When you look at the quality throughout this Dutch side, you really do wonder how they managed to miss out on Russia next year. Callum McGregor has been given much more licence than I expected tonight. It's more or less 4-4-2 with Callum McGregor playing off Matt Phillips.
You'd have thought they might have checked the balls beforehand.
It does help.
Let's try a third one, shall we? Different ball for each minute. We've got one left. Anyone got a pump? You couldn't make this up, could you? The quest for a blown-up ball goes on. Pittodrie. can but hope this one is at the required standard. Been a good start there.
You just got to hope that nobody kicks this out of the ground. Remember when the ball used to be kicked out of the ground now and again?
Was that on your free kicks or? Here's a right kick. Virgil van Dijk. Up towards Ryan Babel. Ronaldo. McGinn will certainly relish the occasion and give his all as usual.
He will, but you know, I think the worry for John McGinn when he's playing in a central two is that his natural instinct is to go and join in further up the pitch, and I think it's important that we don't leave Kenny McLean isolated in front of the two centre-backs.
Phillips up against Rekik and an early corner to encourage Scotland. James Forrest will go across to take it. Christophe Berra, an obvious threat in these situations. And Scotland will get the chance to take another corner. Ryan Christie's route blocked. Familiar surroundings for him, on loan to Aberdeen from Celtic, and this time it's going straight in by the look of it. Then again, maybe not. Forrest, now Robertson, and another corner.
Oh, well worked though. Really good late run into the box from Andy Robertson.
The officials tonight are from France. And the referee, Rudy Bouquet, has spotted something here. Forrest does send it straight in, but didn't clear the first hurdle. He has it back though, James Forrest. McGregor. Ryan Jack catches up. McGregor sent the cross in though, which Ryan Christie could do little with.
Yeah, just overcooked it a little bit, Callum McGregor, but previous to that he did really well. He had nobody on his outside to make a pass to. He took the ball for a little run, made a nice angle to get a left foot crossing eventually. And he certainly won't be fazed by this tonight, given the level that he's playing at the moment for Celtic.
Gaffer coming up against Scotland for the 5th time. Lost the first leg of a Euro 2004 playoff at Hampden Park, but won the second leg 6-0. Phillips now, flag stayed down, and a clear-sided goal here, even more so for Forrest, and a terrific block from Nathan Aki.
Terrific original block from Rekik, who did brilliantly against Mark Phillips. Mark Phillips was always going to shift it onto his right foot and get the shot away. Really good block from the centre-back.
Babel. Christophe Berra taking no chances.
First real chance of the match here. Mark Phillips certainly looks onside as the ball comes through. He is on, but Rekik did really well. Mark Phillips always going to go onto his right side to open the target up, and another block to get it behind for Holland.
Aki. Van Dijk. Fosu Mensah. On loan at Crystal Palace from Manchester United. Memphis Depay moved away from Forrest. It came back to James Forrest. Ryan Jack, cheered by a few, not many though, on his return here. Babel.
Great defending. Andy Robertson got narrow really quickly there. It all came from a slack ball out from the back from Christophe Berra. Possession turned over quickly, and thankfully Andy Robertson read it.
Andy Robertson, who has been short of action at club level with Liverpool. Osu Mensah. Callum McGregor. Christie. Forced him to where he didn't want to go, and it's a throw for the Dutch. Blind. Chopped on by Wijnaldum to little effect. Virgil van Dijk for Stratman. Scotland unbeaten in 7 games in 2017. Stratman. Blind now for Aki. Aki looking for Quincy Promise.
A clever ball. Loads of bend on it down the outside of Christophe Berra.
Tierney going direct to Phillips, and the goalkeeper's delay coming for that. But recovered to make the save from Matt Phillips.
Virgil van Dijk can't quite believe his keeper never came for it at all. Comes originally, Silas, and then starts to backpedal. Reflexes were good enough in the end to make the save, but indecision was almost costly.
He's only played once for
check. Berra. Blind.